One thing I've come to realize over the years, not just from my own experiences, but from listening to countless women share their hearts, is this. Women love to feel emotionally safe. And I don't mean in a superficial, he says he loves me kind of way. I mean deep, grounded, consistent emotional safety. The kind that allows a woman to breathe in your presence without holding her breath, wondering when the ground beneath her will shift. When a woman feels emotionally safe with you, her walls start to come down. She doesn't have to wear the mask she shows to the world. She can be soft. She can be vulnerable. She can be real. And let me tell you, that is a powerful space to be invited into. Because most women are walking around with guards up, protecting their hearts from disappointment, rejection, inconsistency, and confusion. And when she meets a man who doesn't trigger those fears, but instead helps silence them, she remembers him. You see, emotional safety isn't just about being kind or supportive in obvious ways. It's in the subtle things. It's in how you respond when she's not at her best, when she's emotional, when she's not making sense, when she's scared, anxious, or overthinking something you find small. Do you brush her off? Do you mock her? Or do you listen? Not always to fix, but to understand. That's the moment when she's watching. That's when she's deciding if you're a safe place or another person she has to protect herself from. When you give a woman the feeling that she can express herself without being punished for it, without being told she's too emotional, too sensitive, or too much, you become unforgettable. Because most women aren't looking for perfection. They're not asking for fairy tale romance every day. What they want is to feel like their emotions matter to you, that their heart is safe in your hands, that they don't have to shrink themselves just to keep the peace or be easy to love. And let me say this too, emotional safety doesn't mean you never disagree. It doesn't mean you become a doormat. It means that even in disagreement, you communicate with respect. It means you're consistent in who you are, that she doesn't have to guess from day to day if you're still invested, that your presence brings calm, not confusion. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have it all figured out. But if you can give a woman the feeling that she is emotionally secure with you, that she doesn't have to second guess where she stands, that you hear her even when she doesn't speak perfectly, you'll unlock a part of her heart that not many ever get to see. Because women love deeply when they feel safe to do so, and that feeling, that's not something she'll easily forget. This is Jessica Opare, and I'm telling you from a place of truth. If you want to touch a woman's soul, learn to make her feel emotionally safe. It's not weakness, it's power. Quiet, steady, rare power. One of the deepest desires in a woman's heart, something we rarely say out loud but feel deeply, is the need to feel chosen. I don't mean in the casual way people talk about being picked or selected. No, I'm talking about a woman knowing through your actions and energy that she is truly a priority in your life, that she's not just one of many options or conveniences, but someone you've intentionally decided to build with, focus on, and pour into. This is Jessica Opare, and I want to tell you something that a lot of men overlook. Women don't fall in love just because of what you say. They fall in love with how you make them feel. And one of the most powerful feelings you can give a woman is the feeling of being chosen. Every day, not just in the beginning. You see, at first it's easy. You're attentive, curious, consistent. You're doing the little things, sending the texts, planning the meetups, giving her your energy. But what happens when time passes? What happens when life gets busy or when you start to assume she'll always be there? This is where most men fall short, because consistency is the real test of interest. And when a woman feels like she's slowly fading into the background of your life, when you start treating her like she's just there, it slowly chips away at her connection to you. When a woman feels chosen, she blooms. Her confidence grows, her trust in you deepens, and she begins to give more of herself because she no longer questions whether she matters to you. She knows. You show her, not just in grand gestures, but in the small, meaningful ways, how you remember the little things she says, how you protect her time and energy, how you support her even when there's no benefit to you. Women are incredibly intuitive. She can tell when your attention is divided, when your heart is halfway in and halfway out. She can feel when you're entertaining other women behind the scenes. She might not always confront it, but trust me, she feels it. And over time, that feeling eats away at the emotional connection. Now, hear me clearly. I'm not saying you need to be obsessed or that your life should revolve around her. What I'm saying is, if she's important to you, act like it. Let her feel your presence, not just when it's convenient, but especially when it requires effort. Make her feel like she's the one you want, not just the one who's available. It's not about constantly buying gifts or saying the right words. It's in how you show up for her. When you cancel other plans to be with her, when you defend her in rooms she's not in, when you make decisions that reflect her value in your life. That's what it means to choose her. Because when a woman feels like she's the one you've chosen, not just temporarily, not just conditionally, but fully, she will give you a level of loyalty, passion, and depth that you can't buy or manipulate. That's the kind of emotional richness most men never get to experience because they never take the time to truly choose a woman with their whole heart. So if you want to build something lasting, if you want to be unforgettable in her story, then don't just say she matters, make her feel it. Every day, every moment. This is Jessica Opare, and I promise you, when a woman feels chosen, she becomes everything you never even knew you needed. There's a feeling women absolutely cherish, and yet so many men don't even realize how powerful it is. It's the feeling of freedom. Freedom to be feminine, freedom to be soft, freedom to just be without pressure or performance. I'm talking about the kind of emotional and mental space where she doesn't have to constantly defend herself, act tough, or carry the weight of being the strong one all the time. This is Jessica Opare, and if you truly want to connect with a woman on a deeper level, give her that freedom. Let her relax into her natural feminine energy when she's around you. Let her feel that with you, she doesn't need to lead, fix, or prove anything. She can exhale, she can trust, she can feel. You see, the world already expects so much from women. She's expected to be ambitious, emotionally available, nurturing, resilient, attractive, and still somehow calm. And while many women can carry all that, it doesn't mean they want to carry it all the time. When a woman is constantly in survival mode, she becomes guarded, tense, even distant. Not because she doesn't care, but because she hasn't been given the space to be anything else. But when you come into her life and offer her the kind of steady presence that tells her, you don't have to do it all here, I've got you. That's when everything starts to shift. That's when she softens. That's when she lets her guard down. And that's when she truly begins to connect, not just with you, but with her most authentic self. Now, I'm not saying she needs to be treated like she's fragile or incapable. That's not what feminine freedom means. It means she has the freedom to feel, to express, to nurture, to receive, to be vulnerable without fearing that she'll be taken advantage of. It means you're not trying to dominate her or silence her, but instead you honor who she is and the energy she brings. And that honoring doesn't come from big declarations. It comes from small, consistent actions, like listening without interrupting, supporting her dreams without making her feel guilty, not making her feel like she has to compete with you, but that you're with her. It's in how you create an environment where she feels safe to fall apart, if she needs to, without judgment. That is freedom. And I'll tell you something many men don't realize. When a woman feels free to be in her feminine, it actually inspires her to give more. She becomes more affectionate, more nurturing, more intuitive, not because she has to, but because she wants to. Because you've unlocked the part of her that's been waiting for permission to just be. So if you really want to stand out, if you want to build something meaningful with a woman, don't come with force, come with presence. Come with steadiness. Let her feel that with you, she's not just accepted, but invited to be all that she is. That kind of freedom, that's rare. And when you give it to a woman, she'll never forget how you made her feel. This is Jessica Opare, and I'm telling you from the heart, women love to feel free in the right man's presence, not to run away, but to run deeper into herself and into you. There's something so simple yet so deeply powerful that women crave from the men they care about. It's the feeling of being admired and appreciated, and I'm not talking about empty compliments or overused flattery. I'm talking about genuine, consistent appreciation that goes beyond what she looks like or what she does for you. Women want to feel seen, not just on the surface, but on the inside. They want to know that who they are matters to you. This is Jessica Opare, and I want to tell you, so many women are starving for this kind of recognition. They're holding everything together, showing up for everyone, trying to balance it all, and still questioning if anyone truly notices who they are beneath the roles they play. A woman isn't just your girlfriend, wife, or partner. She's a person with dreams, fears, and a heart that longs to be acknowledged in a real way. When a woman feels appreciated, it strengthens the connection you share. It softens her. It makes her feel safe to give more of herself. It's in the little things you notice. How she tries to lift your mood when you're down. How she remembers the smallest details about you. How she pushes herself even when she's exhausted just to make sure you're okay. When you pause to say, I see you, I notice you, I value that, something beautiful happens. She begins to feel like her presence in your life is not just expected, it's cherished. And it's not just about saying thank you after a meal or complimenting her outfit. Those things are nice, but they only scratch the surface. Real admiration comes when you acknowledge the qualities that make her who she is. Her strength, her kindness, her passion, her honesty, her mind. When you tell her how much you respect her courage or how inspired you are by the way she handles challenges, that hits different. That kind of appreciation feeds her soul. Because the truth is, many women give and give without asking for much in return. They're naturally nurturing, often putting others before themselves. But after a while, if there's no acknowledgement, that giving turns into exhaustion. She starts to feel invisible. She starts to wonder if she's just being taken for granted. And that's when she begins to emotionally withdraw, not because she stopped loving you, but because she no longer feels loved in return. But when you make a conscious effort to appreciate her regularly, not just in moments of celebration, but in the ordinary days, that's when she thrives. That's when she becomes more affectionate, more open, more emotionally present. Because now she knows you're not just seeing what she does, you're seeing who she is. So if you truly want to reach her heart, admire her genuinely, openly, and often. Let her know that she's more than enough even when she's not trying. Let her feel that her efforts aren't invisible. When you do that, you're not just giving her a compliment, you're giving her validation, reassurance, and love all in one. This is Jessica Opare, and I'll leave you with this. The woman who feels appreciated will always do more, not because she has to, but because she wants to, because she knows her heart is safe and seen in your hands. If there's one thing I've seen time and time again that makes a woman emotionally pull back, it's uncertainty. When she doesn't know where she stands with you, when one day you're all in, present, connected, and the next you're distant, distracted, or just not there. Women need certainty and consistency to feel emotionally secure. It's not about being perfect. It's about being stable, being steady, being someone she can count on, not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's inconvenient. This is Jessica Opare, and I want to say this clearly. Women fall in love with consistency, not promises, not potential, but patterns. And I know sometimes men think that just because things started off strong, the bond will maintain itself, but relationships are living things. They require nurturing, and consistency is one of the most powerful ways you show her that your words match your actions, that your interest isn't a phase, but a choice you keep making. When a woman has to guess how you feel, when your energy flips without explanation, when she can't trust your moods or your presence, it creates emotional instability. It's like she's walking on eggshells, trying to figure out what version of you she's going to get that day. And when that happens, she can't relax. She can't be vulnerable. She starts to shut down. Not because she doesn't care, but because her nervous system doesn't feel safe with you anymore. Consistency isn't always about grand gestures. It's about showing up in the little things. If you say you'll call, call. If you say you're going to show up, show up. If you're feeling distant or overwhelmed, say that. Don't disappear. Don't go silent and then come back like nothing happened. That kind of emotional whiplash is exhausting, and a woman can only take so much of it before she starts to emotionally detach. You have to understand, women aren't just listening to what you say. They're watching what you do with your attention, your time, your behavior. When your words and actions don't align, she starts to doubt not just the relationship, but herself. She starts to wonder if she's asking for too much, if she's overthinking, if she's the problem. And let me tell you, when a woman starts questioning her own intuition because of your inconsistency, that relationship is already in dangerous territory. But when you're consistent, when you bring a steady, reliable energy into her life, it gives her the space to trust you, to open up, to truly connect. It tells her, I'm here. You don't have to guess. You don't have to chase. You're safe with me. And when a woman feels that, she gives herself more freely. She stops holding back. She brings her full self to the relationship. So if you want something real, don't just be intense, be consistent. Don't just start strong, stay strong. Because in the end, it's not the loudest man or the flashiest man who wins her heart. It's the man who shows up again and again, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when no one's watching. This is Jessica Opare, and let me tell you, when a woman feels certainty in your presence and consistency in your love, she'll give you a kind of peace, passion, and devotion that can't be faked. Be her calm, be her constant. That's what she'll never forget. There's a certain kind of peace every woman is looking for, even if she can't always explain it. It's the feeling of certainty, the comfort of knowing where she stands with you, the quiet confidence that you won't switch up tomorrow, that your energy, your intentions, your presence are not temporary. Women love consistency. We love the man who brings emotional stability, not chaos, not confusion, not someone who only shows up when it's convenient or when he's in the mood. This is Jessica Opare, and I want you to hear me on this. Your consistency is one of the most powerful ways you communicate love. A woman can handle a lot, but what she cannot thrive in is emotional unpredictability. When a woman has to guess how you feel about her, when she has to read between the lines or interpret mixed signals, it doesn't make her feel wanted. It makes her feel anxious. And anxiety and love do not grow well in the same space. A lot of men come in with strong starts, the messages are flowing, the attention is high, the compliments don't stop, and then slowly that effort fades. The texts get shorter, the calls become less frequent. She starts to feel like she's chasing a version of you that no longer exists. And that shift, that inconsistency, it creates doubt. It makes her question if any of it was even real to begin with. Let me tell you something, when you are steady, when your words align with your actions, when you do what you say you're going to do, she starts to relax, not because she's weak or dependent, but because consistency is safety. It's the reassurance that she's not wasting her time, that she's not emotionally investing in someone who's only halfway in. And when a woman feels safe, emotionally secure, and seen, you get the best of her softness, her loyalty, her depth. And I know life happens. You won't always get it right. But it's not about perfection. It's about effort. It's about showing her that you're intentional, that you're not just there for the highs, but you'll still show up in the ordinary moments too. She needs to know that you won't just disappear when things get uncomfortable or when you're distracted by something new. Inconsistency breeds insecurity. And when a woman starts to feel insecure about the relationship, she doesn't just pull back from you. She pulls back from herself. She becomes guarded. She stops sharing. She overthinks every word, every text, every silence. Not because she's dramatic, but because her spirit no longer feels safe with yours. But when you're consistent, emotionally, mentally, energetically, she blooms. She gives more freely. She trusts more deeply. She loves without holding back, because now she knows she's not loving in vain. So if you truly want to build something real, don't let your presence be a question mark in her life. Be consistent, be clear, be the man who doesn't just say he cares, but proves it in how he shows up again and again. This is Jessica Opare reminding you, intensity will attract her, but consistency is what keeps her. If she can trust your pattern, she'll trust your heart. And that is when real connection begins. There's one more feeling that women deeply crave, one that often goes unnoticed but holds incredible power in any relationship. It's the feeling of being understanding. In the simple surface level way, I mean really being seen, heard, and accepted for who she is at her core, her fears, her dreams, her quirks, her struggles. When a woman feels truly understood, it's like a weight lifts off her shoulders. She can breathe easier, be herself without masks or pretenses, and connect on a level that's real and profound. This is Jessica Opare, and I want to speak to you about what it means to really understand a woman. It's more than just listening. It's about empathy, patience, and genuine curiosity. It means putting down your distractions and really tuning into her world, even when her thoughts or feelings don't make perfect sense to you. Because understanding isn't about agreeing with everything she says or feels. It's about honoring her experience and validating it. Think about how often women are dismissed or minimized. How many times have you seen her share her heart, only for it to be met with silence, impatience, or worse, judgment? When that happens repeatedly, she begins to close off. She stops sharing because she feels like it won't matter, like no one will really get her. But when you show up with understanding, you open a door for her to come closer, to trust you with her vulnerabilities. Understanding means recognizing her moods, not as something to be fixed or changed, but as a natural part of who she is. It means seeing beyond the surface irritations or disagreements and connecting with the underlying emotions. When a woman feels that kind of acceptance, it fosters safety and intimacy. She knows she's not alone, that you're willing to walk with her through her ups and downs, her strengths and weaknesses. And here's the thing, understanding is a gift you give her, but it's also a gift to yourself. When you make the effort to really understand a woman, you begin to see her complexity, her beauty, her depth. You start to appreciate why she reacts the way she does, why certain things matter so much to her, and how you can support her growth. It deepens your connection in ways words alone can't express. So how do you cultivate this understanding? It starts with presence. Being fully there when she speaks without distractions or judgments, asking questions not to interrogate but to learn more about her world, reflecting back what you hear to show that you're engaged, and, most importantly, practicing patience. Sometimes understanding takes time, and that's okay. Because when a woman feels truly understood, she feels seen and valued on a level beyond physical attraction or simple companionship. She feels known in a way that touches her soul. And when that happens, love deepens, trust grows, and the bond you share becomes unshakable. This is Jessica Opare reminding you, don't rush to fix or change. Instead, listen, empathize, and hold space for her. When you give her the gift of understanding, you give her the greatest feeling she can receive, the feeling that she is truly, deeply known. And that, my friend, is a love that lasts.